Hey guys, this is just a little add-on video to our paneling episode. I am actually aware of how long-winded I can get, and when editing I try to cut out unnecessary stuff or me repeating myself or whatever. And in the paneling episode I cut out several minutes of stuff that's maybe worth listening to, so I'm putting them in this separate video, which allowed me to trim down the length of the actual episode and then keep my ranting separate for only the most patient of viewers. So if you want to hear me talk some more, keep watching. Alright, my panel here fit perfectly side to side. There's a little bit of a gap to play with. But what I did find was that I couldn't push it up high enough so that the bottom of this panel was in line with the bottom of this panel. And that's just because I think it's getting caught on some of the poly, like the vapor barrier here, or the way the framing is such that I just can't quite ram it up as high. And that's actually more of a mistake I made on this first panel, which was that when I was getting my positions for the electrical boxes to mark them for cutting them out, I had basically rammed the panel up as high as I could go and made the marks and then cut them. So when I went to put it in, to line up with these electrical boxes, I had to get it right back into that maximum, crammed position. What I should have done is had it slightly down when I was first marking it so that I would wind up with the gap at the top. Again, just having very slight gaps, like a 1/4 inch everywhere, to allow myself some wiggle room, and make things easier to line up. So all I've done for this panel is I trimmed off about a 1/4 inch on the top of it so that when I ram it up now, I can get it to match the bottom of this piece. So the two pieces, they're not like this, and there isn't some, stair-like thing to deal with whatever we do down here. They're nice and even, straight line across, so if we need to put a strip down here or whatever, it'll be easy to work with. And as I go, because the panel is so thin that it's quite flexy, I don't want to ram my gun against it and push really hard with the gun to push the panel flat, because it's tending to, I've done some testing, and it's tending to overdrive it, leaving a divot. So I'm just sort of figuring out this technique as I go, and I basically just hold it with my hand flat and then just lightly hold the gun against it, and that's making for the best and most flush nail heads, because I don't want to go either have divots everywhere that might show up through the paint, or conversely a whole bunch of little tiny hairs of protrusion of all these nails that I have to go back and tap in one at a time. So that's kind of how I'm going about this. When we use the sanding pads on the walls, we're going to generate a lot of white powder from the primer and the wood filler, and I'm hoping to just use compressed air to spray it off the walls so that we can then paint, but then it's going to be all in the air and then resettle on everything and be everywhere. So I've rigged up this sort of DIY exhaust system to one of the windows, and then I've only got one window down on that end and one window in the loft open, and I've tested it and I can feel the air coming in those windows, and obviously it's going out here. So the idea is hopefully we can just spray it all off into the air, and we'll just wear masks to protect ourselves, and then the current of the air will sort of exhaust it out, and that will minimize the amount of powder that we have to deal with inside.
If you want to see some of our previous videos, click on the preview tiles, and subscribe if you want to follow our progress. You can also visit our website here.
So I've kept it, I've made it in